Let us close the eyes and begin with a prayer. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May God protect us. May God nourish us. May we work together with energy and vigor. May our study be enlightening. May there be no disagreement among us. Om peace, peace, peace. I bow to the entire lineage of Kriya Yoga masters. I bow to the saints and sages of all places, of all times. I bow to the Supreme Almighty Lord, and I bow to you all. Good morning to all of you. Indeed, it's a beautiful morning. Sitting here next to the window, looking outside is bright sunshine. I'm coming to you from a little town called Glen Mills, Pennsylvania, near Philadelphia. My name is Suresh Kodolikar. It's an honor and privilege to be able to spend some time with you this morning. The topic for this morning is understanding and controlling desires. Understanding and controlling desires. You see, many spiritual disciplines condemn desires and ask seekers to renounce desires completely. So this approach of condemning desires along with elevating renunciation for people who connect with the world on day-to-day basis, connect with the family, connect with work, connect with friends, it becomes a little hard to do. They try it, they do not succeed, and ultimately either give up that path of spirituality or start calling that path as not practical, not sustainable. This morning, we are going to make an effort to understand desires and understand what is meant by controlling, removing, or giving up desires. We all try to search for pleasure, happiness, or fulfillment in life. Our methods in this search may be different, but the goal is one, and that is happiness. Same for all of us, or most of us, I should say. So the desires are the means and pleasure. Desires are means, and pleasure, happiness, fulfillment is the goal. Let us understand this. Desires are created when the sense organs connect with the object of senses, right? What does it mean? Let us take some examples. One sees an announcement for a spiritual program, say an eminent spiritual teacher is going to teach meditation, and it creates a desire to attend that program. See the connection? Sense organs connecting with the object of senses and the desire is created. Let's take a couple of more examples. One sees an announcement for a new movie that was in the making for several years, and it is being released. Desire is born to go see the movie. One sees a billboard announcing that the Powerball jackpot has reached $300 million, some such crazy number. One immediately stops at the first store to buy the lottery ticket. This is the desire. One working in AI field artificial intelligence field, making, say, $500,000 a year, gets a call from a headhunter talking about a job that could offer close to $1 million. A desire is born to look for that job. Then there are desires for art, passion, emotion, love, relationship, and sensuality or sexuality. All these desires we talked about fall generally in three groups. Desires for religious and spiritual activities, desires for financial security, economic prosperity, desires related to emotions, art, love, relationship, sensuality. These are the three tenets of Hinduism called Purushartha. One needs to understand one thing, that all desires that fall under these three categories are moral and ethical. May they be desire of spirituality, may they be desire about sexuality, they're all moral and ethical. These desires need to be moral and ethical. The first one, which is religious spiritual desires, is dharma. Second one, which is economic prosperity, is called artha. And the third one, which is desires more of psychological nature, meaning emotions, love, art, relationships, sensuality, that is called kama. So dharma, artha, kama. Actually, there is a fourth purushartha called moksha or liberation. But that is beyond the scope of our today's topic. So let us leave that aside for now. Concentrate on these three. What is the purpose of pursuing these multitudes of desires? It is to find fulfillment, lasting happiness. Well, does one succeed? No. Well, then why not? Let us explore a little more before going to that answer. Let us understand the process in the mind from the subtle to the gross form of desire. There are four stages called vasana, V-A-S-A-N-A. Second one is spruha, S-P-R-U-H-A. Third one is ichha, I-T-C-H-H-A. And last one is trishna. I spell it like T-R-U-S-H-N-A. You may find the spelling as T-R-S-N-A also. Let us understand them one by one. You see, we have likes and dislikes. Based on those likes and dislikes, when the sense organs come across an object, mind and intellect analyze the object. If the object is disliked, it is rejected immediately, and the journey of desire does not even start. If the mind and intellect see the connection between the object and the likes, such as I like sports and I do not like movies, likes and dislikes. I can walk past a movie theater without even looking at the billboard because there's no desire is born. But if I am passing by a sports store, I will stop by the show window and start looking at the sports equipment. Even though I have no need for any sports equipment, I will look. Now the process starts. Vasana, which is the subtle form of desire, is born. Just looking. The mind and the intellect start to see the equipment more carefully, more critically. Look at the shape, the size, the color, the function. I know that I do not have this equipment. Desire is taking shape to own it. This is spruha. Longer I stand at the show window, harder is the effort of the mind to tell me that I need that sports equipment. The desire is completely formed now. The fully formed desire is called ichha. Now I realize that I do not have enough cash and I absent-mindedly left my credit card at home. Wow, what to do? Now the mind and the intellect really start to work on me. This may be the last piece of that equipment in the store, and someone else could easily buy it. You must hurry. What do? I rush home, get my credit card, come right back. This is Trishna, the craving, obsessive nature. This is the journey of desire from the unmanifested to the fully manifested state. Now, here is a light-hearted comparison, okay, between an ice cream cup and desire. So, certain ice cream shop has 3 size cups. Well, most of the ice cream shops have 3 size cups. You know that they call small, medium, and large. Not this one. This one calls them, I like it, I love it, and I must have it. As you guessed it, I like it is a small cup, I love it is a medium, and I must have it is a gigantic large cup. You see, as the desires increase, so does the size of the cup. It tells us the nature of desires is to continually grow, not reaching happiness, not creating fulfillment, and because of that, generating frustration, disappointment, and a lot of time misery. We may get a momentary pleasure, but not a lasting happiness. Earlier, I said that the desires which are ethical and moral, desires that are for material independence, and desires that are for art, love, relationship, do not give us lasting happiness or fulfillment. They may give us temporary pleasure, but not happiness. Why not? Now let us try to see the answer coming from Bhagavad Gita. Let us look at the verse 55 of the 2nd chapter. Let us bring it up on the screen. There it is. This stanza, let me read it first. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Rajahati Ada Kaman Sarvan Partha Manogatan Atmanyevatmana Tushtaha Sita Prajnastadochate. That's good, Baba. You can. Thank you. So this stanza will give us a solution for our problem. It will show us how to control desires, avoid misery, and then find happiness. A little background. This stanza is Lord Krishna's response to Arjuna's question about the marks of Sthita Prajna. Sthita Prajna means one who is God realized and established in Samadhi. How does he speak? How does he sit? How does he move? Was what Arjuna wanted to know. See the first line, Partha Yada Sarvan Manogatan Kaman Prajahati. Meaning, hey Arjuna, when all the desires rooted in the mind are given up, the first mark of a God-realized person is that he or she has given up all the desires that are rooted in the mind. Manogatan is the important word here. It means residing in the mind, rooted in the mind. We saw earlier that the desires are born out of contact of the sense organs and the object. When we see food with our eyes, smell with our nose, we are hungry, we have a desire to eat that food. If we limit the action of eating the food to the sense organs, then there is no problem at all. The sense organs will stop eating when the stomach is full. Sense organs have that intelligence. It is the nature of the sense organs. It is the nature of the eyes to see the beautiful things in the world. It is the nature of the nose to smell the fragrance in the roses. It is the nature of the ears to listen to the melodious music. It is the nature of the tongue to taste delicious food. And it is the nature of the skin to enjoy the cool breeze on the seashore. That is the very purpose why we have been given these sense organs since our birth. It is natural for the sense organs to enjoy their objects. There is no crime, there is no guilt in letting these sense organs enjoy the objects. Objects of their choice, as long as they are moral and ethical. It is okay to stand by the ocean and when the cool breeze touches our face, spontaneously saying, ah. When we taste a piece of cheesecake from the cheesecake factory, say, mouth automatically appreciates, the word naturally comes out, wow. When the cheesecake is finished and the stomach is full, the tongue and the mouth are done with the action. It is the mind that is going over and over again. Oh, that texture, the taste, oh, the smoothness, the sweetness. Even if you are not hungry, the mind wants the cheesecake. When the mind and the intellect can get involved, they create the problem. They create memory of the taste, the color, the texture. The memory gets stored in our data bank. And when we see that food again, or even if we not see the food, but if we think about it, the mind will start to crave for that food and convince the sense organs to eat that food. Several of us can relate to this experience, right? I do. The sense organs are doing their work, and it is natural and appropriate for them to do that. I hope I'm making this point clear. Because it is not the fault of the sense organs. Sense organs have been given to us by God, and they are absolutely within their right to enjoy the objects of senses. But when the mind and the intellect get involved in the process of generating desire, the mind and the sense organs will be involved with the object. If the mind is not there, this is before we start to enjoy the object. Mind and sense organs will be there to generate desire. If the mind is not there, then the desire will not be created. Once the desire is created and one goes to fulfill the desire, consciously keeping the mind away, something miraculous happens. Stomach gets full, hunger is gone. Mouth, maybe it gets a signal from the stomach, or its own intelligence tells him to stop. To achieve this, we have to make a conscious effort to keep the mind away. If we detach the mind from the object, it needs to rest into something. This is where the second line of the stanza comes in. Where can the mind rest? What can the mind be absorbed in? We all know that mind is vast and it needs something bigger than the mind to rest in. With practice, the mind can be absorbed in the Supreme, the Soul, Paramatman, Brahman, or God. Multiple names of the same thing. So it is a two-pronged approach. Isolate the mind from the sense enjoyment and consciously train the mind to be absorbed in God. You say easily said than done, right? Yes, you are right. I'm not saying it is easy. I know that it is very hard for us to tell the mind to do anything. Mind acts like Lord and generally does not listen to anyone. But it is not impossible to train the mind. Hard, but possible. Then how to do that? First thing to do, this is critical here. First thing to do is to recognize that this body is my body. I am not the body, right? I am not the body. This is my body. I am not the mind. This is my mind. We don't say I body or I mind. When we say my mind, we are making the mind an object, and we can treat it as an object. Start with the body. Feel that I am not the body, but it is my body. Start to watch the body as a separate element, an object. Who is watching? Baba Hariharanandaji used to tell us, you are not you, but you are the real you. Meaning that you are not the body, but you're the living soul. You know, Gurudev had a unique way of distilling wisdom from the scriptures and putting them into small, simple words like this, so that we can understand. You're sitting to eat. No, you are watching that this body of yours is sitting down to eat. You're walking down the street. No, you are watching that this body of yours is walking down the street. Get the idea? More so with the mind. Detach yourself from the mind. You are not the mind, but you have the mind. Those who meditate are used to watching the mind when they try to calm the mind, right? We have a simple trick in Kriya Yoga. We say, keep the attention at the top of the head and simply watch your breath. Top of the head is where God enters into the body. Breath is our source of life. We cannot live without breath. Breath is divinity. Breath is God. I'm not saying that you will succeed as soon as you start the process. It will take some time, but it will happen. We need to work on it consciously. You see, when we were fortunate to have Gurudev Hariharanandaji stay with us, our two daughters and I used to sit with Baba Hariharanandaji at the dining table. Niva used to serve freshly cooked food to all of us. Baba used to insist that we sit with him, not serve food in his room. But Baba used to ask us not to speak while eating. It was hard for the little girls not to speak for 20, 30, 40 minutes. They used to complain, but used to do it. By not talking, you are devoting your mouth and tongue entirely to tasting and eating. It was a learning process for me to watch Baba at the dining table. Each portion of food he would pick up from the plate and take it to the mouth was an offering. It was a worship, as if it was a fire ceremony. Mind had nowhere to go. Mind was quiet and mind was at one place. There's a story about Yogavatar Lahiri Baba. Lahiri Mahashaya, he was invited for dinner, and the host probably was unaware that Lahiri Baba was completely vegetarian, or there are some parts of India where fish is considered as part of vegetarian diet. When Lahiri Baba sat to eat, he offered the food to God before starting to eat. There was a lovingly prepared fish in the plate. Lahiri Baba, without noticing that as fish, made an offering to God. One disciple sitting next to Lahiri Baba saw Baba eating the fish. Next day, he asked Lahiri Baba, Gurudev, do you eat fish? Lahiri Baba looked at him and said, no, never. We need to understand Lahiri Baba's response. Lahiri Baba used to offer food to God before eating, and then every bite was taken as prasad, or as the consecrated food. When the food is taken like this, every morsel is filled with blessing of God. So there is no question of purity, impurity. Each portion of food taken to the mouth was a blessing of the divine. Food eaten with this conviction has no involvement of the mind and the intellect. Let us stop here and do a quick review. 1. It is the nature of the sense organs to enjoy the objects of senses. 2. It is senses move away from the object when the purpose of association is fulfilled. 3. Desires are normal as long as the acts of fulfilling the desires are moral and ethical, as long as the desires are moral and ethical. 4. Involvement of the mind and intellect in association of the sense organs and their objects is to be consciously avoided. Keep the mind away. 5. In order to achieve the item that we just talked about, keeping the mind away from the act of uniting the mind with the sense organs with their objects, not the mind. So what are those things that we need to know? Know that you are not the body, but you have the body. Know that you are not the mind, but you have the mind. Practice and learn to watch the body and the mind as separate from you. With constant practice of watching the body and the mind, you will gain control over the body and the mind. Know that it is not easy and be prepared to work on it, as it will make life more enjoyable by reducing and finally eliminating miseries from life. This will be a major step in living a fulfilling life. And then the sixth item is, it is not necessary to eliminate desires, but it is important to let desires not enter into the mind by truly understanding the meaning of manogatan kaman. Manogatan kaman. Desires that have taken roots in the mind. You see, the title of the talk was Understanding and Controlling the Desires. Understanding the desire is correct, but controlling desire is not. And hopefully, you all know by now why it is not correct. Thank you all very much. And let us meditate. Let us close the eyes. Keep the attention at the junction of your eyebrows. Try to focus 2 to 3 inches from the junction of the eyebrows. Normal conscious breaths. We are usually not aware of the breath. Take a little deeper breath as you breathe in and breathe out. And as you're doing that, follow the air going through the nose. Feel the coolness of the air. And when you exhale, follow the air coming out of the nostrils. Feel the warmth in that exhalation. Reason for this? To be conscious of the breath. Breath is the gift of God. We have no control over the breath. We came into this world with the first breath, and we will leave this world with the last breath. The only companion that is true to us truly stays with us. Consciously watch inhalation and exhalation. Keeping the attention at the junction of the eyebrows, little inside the brain, will help us concentrate, will help us through that concentration, preventing thoughts entering into the mind. So try to do these 2 things, attention, 2 to 3 inches inside the brain, back from the junction of the eyebrows, and inhalation and exhalation. Inhalation and exhalation. Totally conscious of the movement of the air from the nostrils. See how far back you can trace it. Maybe going down to the throat, maybe going down still below the throat. We know that the air goes into the lungs. Follow that as far as you can. Concentrate. Inhalation and exhalation. Inhalation and exhalation. Now take a deep inhalation. Hold the breath and bend forward as far forward as you can. And exhale. Be comfortable. Bend only as far as you can. Try to bend only as much as you can. Continue inhalation and exhalation. Just this simple act of bending forward, you are expanding your spine. Through that expansion, you will magnetize the spine. Magnetizing the spine is going to bring more energy into the spine. Take a deep inhalation. Hold the breath. Sit back up. Calmly exhale. Continue with normal inhalation and exhalation and try to go a little deeper. If the thoughts come, do not fight them. Keep the mind away from them. Watch the thoughts come and go. Your whole attention is on the breath. Your whole attention is 2 to 3 inches back from the junction of your eyebrows. Do it lovingly. Breath loves us. That is why we are alive. Breath is a gift of God. That is why this life. Inhale, exhale in total calmness. Take another deep inhalation. Hold the breath. Calmly bend forward as far as you can. And exhale. Normal inhalation, exhalation. Be conscious of any perception that you get. Deeply absorb 2 to 3 inches back from the junction of your eyebrows. It will help you stay calm and focused. Take another deep inhalation. Hold the breath. Sit back up. Calmly exhale. See if the mind is little calm. See if the concentration is helping you watch the breath go a little deeper within. Conscious inhalation and exhalation. Again, take a deep inhalation. Hold the breath, bend forward, exhale. Normal inhalations, exhalations. Consciously watching the breath. Attention focus 2 to 3 inches back from the junction of the eyebrows. Stay there. Watch the breath from there. Take a deep inhalation. Hold the breath. Sit back up. Calmly exhale. Prasanna vadanam dhyayet. Let there be some happiness, some smile on the face. Meditation is an enjoyable act. Now let us take deep, long inhalations and exhalations. Still keeping the mind focused, 2 to 3 inches back from the junction of the eyebrows. Take a deep inhalation, deep exhalation. Inhale love. Exhale peace. Inhale love. Exhale peace. Inhale love. Exhale peace. Continue doing that. Everything around us, the nature, the earth, giving us love. Plants, giving us oxygen. Love in everything. Feel that love in the inhalation. Take that inhalation with total gratitude of what we are receiving through the nature. Inhale with love. Then reciprocate. Let peace exude from you. As you exhale, peace, feel that. Inhale love. Exhale peace. Inhale love. Exhale peace. Let the inner peace manifest. Let it cover everything outside. Inhale love. Exhale peace. Inhale love. Exhale peace. Continue doing that. Inhale love. Exhale peace. Inhale love. Exhale peace. Deep inhalation, deep exhalation. Now let us go away from the conscious breath. Let the breath do its own thing. You sit in total calmness. Enjoy the result of this short meditation. That peace within, surrounded by love. Try to go a little deeper. Slightly open your eyes. Keep your chin down. Watch this body. Perceive divinity in this body. This is the living presence of God. Thank you all very much. Let us do concluding prayers as we close this program. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Everyone be happy. Sarve Santu Niramaya. Everyone be healthy. Sarve Bhadranu Pashyanti. May everyone see what is good in this world. Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Let not even a trace of unhappiness, misery touch anyone. May there be peace, peace, peace. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam. Literal translation is, that is complete This is complete. This has come from that, and that is still complete. Meaning of this, that is Brahman. This body is the manifestation of that Brahman. When one realizes that this body has come from the Brahman and perceive Brahman alone in this body, then Brahman alone remains beyond duality. Om peace, om peace, om peace. I'm grateful to all of you. Thank you very much for listening. May God bless us all. May Gurus bless us all. Jai Guru, Jai Guru.